Greetings. I am your narrator, an old man with tales to chill your bones. As we embark on this journey, let your imagination run wild, for the shadows can play tricks on the mind. In this world, nothing is as it seems. A simple smile can hide 1,000 secrets, and laughter can echo with sinister intent. Picture, if you will, a clown, a figure of joy and entertainment, yet in our tale a harbinger of dread and fear. This is not a tale for the faint-hearted. It is a story woven with the threads of your deepest, darkest nightmares. A clown, a symbol of mirth, is our protagonist. But be warned, this is no ordinary jester. His tricks are not for amusement, but for the thrill of terror. And so, our tale begins in a quiet, unsuspecting town. In a place where joy was a common sight, an unfamiliar figure emerged. A figure decorated and concealed, a face that displayed cheerfulness yet harboured an uncanny air of enigma. He presented himself as a clown, a roving entertainer, present to disseminate happiness and mirth. His emergence was received with curiosity and a dash of apprehension. The clown had a unique demeanour. His hearty laughter reverberated throughout the lanes, a sound intended to be cheerful, yet it carried a chilling undertone that made anyone within hearing distance shudder. It was a laughter that lingered, a laughter that seemed to penetrate the very essence of the town. This was no run-of-the-mill clown. He didn't juggle or craft balloon animals. Instead, he carried out feats that broke the norms, feats that left the townspeople spellbound and perplexed. His actions were seamless, yet alarmingly unpredictable. A quick wave of his hand could cause items to vanish into oblivion. A nod could alter the wind's direction. It felt as if he possessed a supernatural command over his surroundings. He had a knack for materializing unexpectedly, always at the most unanticipated moments. One instant the lanes would be deserted, and the next he would be present, his adorned face widening into a broad smile, his laughter permeating the atmosphere. The townsfolk tried to disregard their apprehension. After all, he was merely an entertainer, a clown. They chuckled at his stunts, praised his acts, yet a residual sensation of unease remained, a premonition they couldn't completely ignore. The clown, with his decorated face and spooky laughter, had integrated into their routine life, a part that was as intriguing as it was disconcerting. But the townsfolk were ignorant of the horror that was about to unfold, and as the days passed, a sense of dread began to creep into the hearts of the townsfolk. The old man's voice, as steady as time itself, resonates with an eerie calm that belies the unsettling tale. You see, the town was no longer the same after the clown's arrival. It was as if a shroud of uncertainty had descended upon us, casting long, ominous shadows that danced in the corners of our eyes. The laughter that once echoed through the streets was now a rare sound, replaced by hushed whispers and the creaking of doors hastily bolted. The joviality of the town square, once filled with chatter and cheer, had been replaced by an eerie silence that hung heavy in the air. The once vibrant colours of the town seemed to dull, as if the very life was being drained from it. The once bustling marketplace was now a ghost of its former self, the vendors' faces etched with worry. Unexplained incidents started to occur. The town's clock, a reliable old thing, began to chime at odd hours. Mirrors would crack without reason, and the town's pets, the dogs, cats, and even the birds, they began to act strangely, as if they sensed an unseen presence. But it wasn't just these incidents that stirred the fear. It was the clown with his painted smile that never reached his cold, unblinking eyes. His laughter, once a source of joy, now seemed to echo ominously in the silence. His presence was like a grotesque caricature of happiness, a distorted reflection that seemed to mock our fear. And then there was the dread, a dread that seeped into the very fabric of our lives, a dread that whispered in our ears in the dead of night. It was a dread that told us something was terribly, terribly wrong. And then, one fateful night, the true horror began. The moon was high and the town was asleep, but the clown was awake. A sinister laugh echoed through the quiet streets, chilling the bones of anyone unfortunate enough to hear it. The old man began to weave a tale that would make even the bravest soul tremble with fear. In the heart of the town lived a man who was known for his courage and strength. But that night, courage and strength would be tested like never before. The man was returning home late from work. The only sound accompanying him was the eerie echo of his own footsteps on the cobblestone streets. Suddenly, he felt a chill run down his spine, as if he was being watched. He turned around, and there, under the dim glow of the streetlight, stood the clown. A clown with a grotesque smile that seemed to stretch from ear to ear, and eyes that glowed with an unnatural, haunting light. The man's heart pounded like a drum in his chest as the clown began to move towards him. The old man's voice dropped to a whisper, increasing the suspense. The clown moved with a strange, jerky motion, like a puppet controlled by unseen hands. With each step, the clown's laughter grew louder and more menacing, echoing off the walls of the deserted buildings. The man wanted to run, to escape this nightmarish creature, but his feet were rooted to the spot, frozen by fear. The clown was now inches away, its laughter ringing in the man's ears. The clown reached out a gloved hand towards the man, the light catching on something sharp and gleaming in its grasp. And just like that, the clown vanished into the night, leaving behind only fear and unanswered questions. The man was left standing alone on the street, his heart pounding in his chest, the clown's sinister laughter still echoing in his ears. He was shaken, but alive, another victim of the night of terror. In the cold light of day, the town was forever changed. The sun may have risen, washing away the darkness, but it could not erase the terror that had passed in the night. The old man, the town's chronicler, began to narrate the aftermath, his voice carrying the sombre weight of the events. Once a place of joy and laughter, the town now sat in an eerie silence. The once bustling streets were now empty, the air heavy with an unspoken fear. The children's playground, once filled with the sound of innocent laughter, lay deserted, a silent testament to the night of terror. He spoke of the town's newfound fear of the clown. A figure of fun, of frivolity, had become a symbol of dread. The mere mention of the clown sent shivers down spines, turned smiles into masks of fear. The once beloved entertainer had become a nightmare that haunted the town's dreams. The old man's voice dropped lower, adding to the ominous atmosphere. The people of the town locked their doors at night, the once open and welcoming community now a fortress against the unseen. The laughter of the clown, once a sound of joy, was now a chilling echo that lingered in the air, and the dread was unending. He paused, a moment of silence for the town that was no more. Then he continued, his voice grating like the rustle of autumn leaves. Every shadow seemed to hide the clown, every sound was his laughter. The town lived in perpetual fear, always looking over their shoulders, always waiting for the clown to reappear. The old man's voice trailed off, leaving the listeners with an unsettling feeling. The story was over, but the fear remained. And the clown? Oh, he's still out there somewhere, waiting, laughing, and ready for the next town. So, my dear listeners, remember, not all that laughs is friendly. As the curtain falls on this twisted tale, the echoes of that sinister clown's laughter still linger, don't they? A chilling reminder of the horrors that lurk beneath the surface of the seemingly harmless. In the quiet corners of your mind, the memory of this story will continue to unravel, leaving you with a sense of unease. The laughter you once associated with joy and mirth, now tainted with a shiver of dread. The image of a clown, once a symbol of fun, forever morphed into a harbinger of fear. Such is the power of a tale well told, my friends. To make the familiar unfamiliar, the harmless horrifying. It's a chilling farewell I leave you with today, but one that will ensure you return, hungry for more. Until our paths cross again, sleep tight and beware. See you in the next scary story.